Aloha Nui Patriots, it's Shari Raye with the verse of the day. May 2nd. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one who feared God and eschewed evil. Job 1:1. Job is the oldest book in the Bible, and thereby the oldest book in the world. It was written by Moses. Luke 24:27-44. It explains the problem of why good men are afflicted. It is in order to bring about their sanctification. It is interesting that this difficult question should be the first taken up and answered in the Bible. In the book of Job, the discovery of the worthlessness of self is the first step in Christian experience. Then we discover the worthfulness of Christ, which is the second step. However, the worthfulness of Christ can never be reached until we fully understand the worthlessness of self. The book of Job does not symbolize an unconverted man, but rather a believer. It was necessary that one of God's children should be chosen for this trial, for the subject of this book is not the conversion of the sinner, but the consecration of the saint. It is evident that an unconverted man needs to be brought to the end of himself, but that a man who feared God, who was perfect in his efforts to serve the Lord, and who hated evil should also need this. Such presents itself as a mystery to most Christians. God chose the most consecrated man on the face of the earth at that time to portray the fact that self is a problem, and that it must be dealt with, and that dealing with it is never easy, but always extremely difficult. The effect of all that happened to Job was that he ultimately came to abhor himself. Job 42:5-6. This language shows that previously, i.e., before his great trial, he had thought well of himself. His creed was orthodox, for he approached God through sacrifice, and his conduct was faultless, for he was a just man and hated evil. But these sharp trials, and especially the anger which the unjust accusations of his friends stirred up in his heart, revealed to himself unknown depths of moral ugliness, and finally, his being challenged to measure himself with God made him conscious that in him, that is, in his flesh, there dwelt no good thing. This is a deep and painful experience which all Christian people have not reached, but yet must be reached if we are to be what we ought to be in Christ.